Come to Uncle Moe's for family fun. It's good, 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 good.
Sounds good.
Hello and welcome to Uncle Moe's Family Feedbag, where we look through the dizzying highs, the terrifying lows, and creamy middles of seasons 1 to 12 of The Simpsons through random episode generation. I'm, of course, always joined by my good boy, Cal Reader. Cal, how are we?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm very good, man. Slight real-life update for people. I'm now out of retail, finally. Celebrate good times come on, and I'm now in a nice, tidy office job here and there. And yeah, things are looking good. How about you in your own person?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just tired from all the homework I've been doing, hoeing about and stuff. I did gardening. I'm not a pimp. I tried being a pimp. You just get sucked off too hard. It's horrible. But
I never knew you were one for green fingers, Cal.
yeah, no, I'm not. I agree to things at work and forget I agree to them. And then it's just like, oh, yeah, now you got to go garden and shit. And then because we didn't get taught, we literally got given. I was telling you before the podcast recorded, like literally we just got given a load of tools, and it was just like, yep, good luck. And then like halfway through, so it was like 6 hours, and it wasn't too rainy. It wasn't raining or anything like that. But like after about hour 4, I just turned to the girl I was doing it with. I was just like, I wonder how bad morally it'll look if I sued a hospice. Which was like,
They have a point. They are in the wrong.
yeah.
And the episode we're reviewing today is Season 3, Episode 15's Homer Alone. Directed by Mark Kirkland, written by David Stern. And the couch gag is the family forms a human pyramid. Cal, as always, is there any initial thoughts for this episode or particular memories with Homer Alone?
Yeah, so the main thing what kind of not necessarily drew me, but I kind of forgot which episode this was. I thought it was one of 3 episodes. I do remember this one. I remember the thing what always comes to mind is when Marge is in the on the bridge and she just growls at the guy, and the bit where she says "Get out," and that kind of terrified me a little bit when I was younger.
Well, like you say, with Marge sort of losing a rag in the car and shouting at the kids, the artistic director behind this, Mark Kirkland, he does a lot of stretchy face in this, like quite a lot of the grotesque, especially, the kids in the car, Bart's teasing Lisa with his face and that. I loved all the sort of stretching with this episode and the animation particularly.
Yeah, I agree. This is the good thing about like this era Simpsons. It's a little bit for the earlier ones as well, earlier than this as well. Obviously, this is only season 3. Is the animation's a lot more rubbery but not like computerizedly rubbery or too straight kind of thing. It's very emotive.
Yeah, it's very cell by cell, and you get to see some of the extremities and the stretching. That is very entertaining to look at. So we open up the episode with a parody. How old would have been? Even 7, 8-year-old little me would have got this because of Cartoon Network and Boomerang. It's a Wile E. Coyote parody, and I don't know. I really like this off the bat here. I got it then. I got it now. The reference. Were you a Warner Brothers Looney Tunes fan back in the day? Did you watch any Boomerang, Cal?
Oh, I used to love it. I used to love Looney Tunes. I was always more. Obviously, with Disney, I loved the films and stuff like that, but I didn't really watch Disney Channel or anything like that. Occasionally Cartoon Network, but it was always Looney Tunes was a classic. Wile E. Coyote is one of my favourites as well as Sylvester the cat. Because I just kind of like lovable heroes, well, lovable losers more than anything. It's what I really relate to. But it used to be, because I remember in Sheffield, anyway, there used to be a Warner Brothers store in Meadow Hall, and it was massive. It was actually bigger than the Disney store.
I had no idea.
And it used to do a lot for like when obviously upcoming films, like when Harry Potter was coming out. It used to be the Dobby thing. I've still got somewhere, probably in the loft somewhere, a couple of Looney Tunes stuffed animals and stuff. And then it kind of down. I don't know what happened really. I think it was just kind of died down, shut down eventually. I remember when it was shutting. Actually, they dressed up the creepy Dobby statue in like Hawaiian things, saying we're going on a trip, and then Dobby never returned.
Homer and Bart come out of this little parody, out of this freeze frame, and they knock something over, and this pretty much kickstarts what Marge has to deal with on a 24-hour basis, just cleaning up after people, being the mum of this crazy family. And this took me to flashbacks of first year Tyler, of living in uni halls, especially when it came to like sink duty. I am not cleaning that. Oh, who am I kidding? It's a
See,
shithole, but it's my shithole. I must clean this.
we had a very different kind of thing because a lot of it is they'd always use my shit, so then I had to kind of check it, like clean it and all that stuff. And I remember one time being at work and having like 3 missed calls from a housemate, and he was just like, "Where are the pots?" And I went, "What's up?" Sorry, I went, "What's up?" I'm at work. He went, "Where are the pots?" I went, "Well, they're in my room. We need to come home now and unlock it." I went, "Firstly, no, I'm at work. Like, fuck you. Secondly, they're my pots. So you can go suck my dick." And he went, "Oh, okay," and bought some pots.
Wait, you keep dirty pots in your room?
No, so I cleaned them, obviously. I don't, why would I keep dirty pots in my room? No, like, I clean, like, the, dishes and cooking frying pans and stuff like that. And because I was sick of just, because they were my items, I just left them in the kitchen, and there's people using them and just not cleaning them and just leaving them.
Oh, so it was a preventative measure.
Yeah, it was an alpha move to show that I was the most hated prick in the house.
Marge has to run errands through the day, and she has to make everyone's breakfast and people's lunches, and they've got very specific and particular orders. And I like the family just carrying, again, they're oblivious to the stress she's going through, but I like the little wrinkle of Homer as an adult, even though he realizes the kids are hassling the mum. It's just, "Oh, you're making sandwiches, right? I'll have 2 bologna, extra bologna, double bologna."
See, this is another thing, because you've not met my brother yet, but he's basically Homer Simpson as a real human being. Like, he's just very oafish and very kind of, he's a buffoon, a
Well, I
buffoon, a
think we'd get
buffoon, a
along, yeah.
buffoon. Yeah, and it's something what he'd very much do. He'd just be like, "Oh yeah, sandwich. Yeah, I'll have 2 sandwiches, one tuna, one chicken, half chicken and tuna, and all that stuff." It's just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
She goes off on her errands, and her hands are full with a baby and a bowling ball and lunch and car keys and you name it. She ends up passing the kids along. They're on the way to school, and this is what I was on about. The animations are really on point here, and like you were saying, Cal, it's very rubbery in that it's quite energetic, this animation. And I used to have I don't believe it's off these faces. I think it's more the season 1 models and drawings they used to do with the family. But I used to have, I don't know about you, but there was a black duvet set available. I think it might have been from Asda, and it was all the family's distorted faces pulling these
Oh, that's
creepy,
cool.
gruesome faces. And I had that until I actually,
Last week.
no, I wish it was. Like, I actually regret getting rid of it. It must have been, what, 10 years ago, and obviously I should have kept it for nostalgia's sake and desperate eBay time's sake as well. But yeah, put me onto good memories of that. Marge, this is the first sort of snap, the first sort of break in her sanity with the very slow down "get out." Sounds very much like Julie Kavanagh's own voice. She didn't have to change much for Marge, but I think slowing it down, it just sounds like a normal voice here.
Yeah, this is the bit what kind of I don't know why it always used to shake me up a little bit, but it kind of at the moment I don't know if you've seen that video going around on Facebook where it's that kid who slides down a slide and he goes up to a little boy and he's just like, "I went really fast," and the little boy just gives the most demonic laugh. He's like,
I
and
haven't, no. Oh dear.
I'll show you later. But he just they slow it down and it sounds horrific. Like, it sounds demonic. It's so funny.
She's running through these errands, and she's just trying to find some sort of distraction because Maggie's about to send her over the edge. But she pops on the radio, and again, like a previous episode before, Phil Hartman's featuring in it twice as this random radio voice, and everyone's favourite hokey TV actor Troy McClure. But I think it's good they had him in these bonus roles just as like an odd voice here and there, even though it is obviously him. But I can't get enough of Phil Hartman. Like I said before, he's the glue. He's underrated. Whenever they, I was doing a bit of research throughout this, and whenever they needed to just joke something up or just to have a solitary funny scene, they would call on Phil Hartman to do a Hutz or a McClure or what have you.
Yeah, he's a very. I was wondering when I was watching this episode later in the episode when he reappears as Troy McClure, how it's something I should have really researched before we went on there, but how many like fake films and stuff he's actually been in?
Oh, there has to be a YouTube compilation.
I'm gonna Google it now.
I'll link it to the page so the kind people can have a look. I do particularly like the fact that he's very energetic with what seems like some sort of melancholy medical advert. Oh, this horrible headache. It's like there's a rat in my brain. I think that's just the go-to sort of performance for Hartman, but he nails it every time, and it always seems to get a chuckle out of me, and raise a smile out of me each time.
Yeah, he's been in quite a few films. There's a big list here. Electric Gigolo, which is Electric Horseman and American Gigolo. Erotic Adventures of Hercules, which is apparently the Erotic Adventures of Zorro and Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, that was real?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, right.
You may have seen me in such films as P is for Psycho.
What about Gladys, the Groovy Mule? Is that based in any reality?
Let's have a look. Gladys
I've got a
Groovy
feeling
Mule,
maybe it's
reference
Herbie.
Francis the Talking Mule.
Oh, wow, so it's actually a
Yeah.
talking horse or talking mule of some kind. Wow,
Yeah.
it's few and far between his film career. Good God. Howdy, this is just a reminder that if you're enjoying the content so far, loving our podcast, loving the episode, go over to facebook.com and search for Uncle Mo's Family Feedbag, a British podcast, and give us a like there. We will update you on all of our exclusive content and posts as well. Also, if you're in the mood for a bit more Simpsons and more Simpsons podcast, go over and check out the 411 folks on Facebook and SoundCloud as well. They do lots of great impressions, great analysis of the episodes, and it's generally... Maggie ends up spilling her bottle, and this sends Marge over the edge. Again, sort of terrifying line movement and great animation has shown a break from insanity, and she slams the brakes on the car and just stops in the middle of the highway. And I feel this might be some sort of film reference. I don't know if it's Pretty Woman or something, but I feel like it's referencing something again with the big southern bus driver coming out, "Lady, this better be good," and just the big line roaring. I like, again, the animation on this is great. Just it's not even a full frame. It's like half a frame, and he zips out a screen, like showing real, genuine fear there.
Yeah. The idea of just someone who's just so fucked off, you just think, nah, not my problem. Don't get paid for this shit.
But yeah, I believe. I want to put my reputation on the line and say, is this the first appearance of Arnie Pie, Cal?
This is Arnie Pie with Arnie in the Sky. We've got big problems on the Springfield Memorial Bridge, people. Traffic going way back in both directions. And look out at the corner of 14th and Elm, because I just dropped my bagel.
His first voice is Some Enchanted Evening. His voice only, but his first actual appearance is Home Alone.
Oh, right. So I'm semi-right. But yeah, Arnie sees the chaos ensuing, and this leads Kent Brockman to have a little report, because this is no normal traffic report, much to the dismay of Arnie. So Kent tries to parasail down to get an exclusive interview with Marge, but like any sort of good compilation on YouTube, live news cock-ups, they're one of my favourites, and he just completely misses the car. And this reminded me a lot of Homer coming back off the gorge after that big jump, just bumping his head against the bridge and his little wails of pain. Ow! Ow!
I think that's obviously later in episodes and stuff. Arnie gets a bit more petty towards Kent Brockman. I feel that was just the beginning of his anger.
Do you have a favourite Arnie moment? Because there's one prominent moment I do remember. I think it's... I don't want to know what season it's from, but it's very much he's bickering with Kent. Someone's on the run, as usually when he comes out. He's like, "Oh no, Arnie, please, this is not the time." "You're not the time, Kent. You're not the time." Like, cutting a promo here. Arnie Pie, good on him, lad.
My favourite's when Kent Brockman gets sacked and straight away pushes him off because starts doing like a really normal anchor voice. Homer
realises this is Marge on TV and he's embarrassed, and so he has to come down there and talk her out, and eventually they do. I think this is the most sort of competent Wiggum is until they start making him funnier and dumbing him down, because he's actually giving him rationale like, coax her out, tell her you love her and that. Like, you're never going to see Wiggum that smart again and rational.
He's more. It's like when you watch early Columbo and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Columbo. Like, it's one of those things what my dad always watched, and then it's kind of grown on to me. So I'm like, these are actually really well made, but character's not really developed much. He's still a bit of an idiot, but he's more of a kind of like, now, see?
They managed to get Marge out of the car, but she's instantly arrested there, cuffed up, and again, Wiggum's very confident, very happy. He's got a arrest on the collar there, but Quimby, you know, typical politician. This is going to kick him the chick vote goodbye.
Don't you worry, Mr. Mayor. This little bird will be cracking rocks by the end of the week.
Wiggum, you glorified night watchman, let her go.
But she broke the law.
Thanks for the civics lesson. Now listen to me. If Marge Simpson goes to jail, I can kiss the chick vote goodbye. And if I go down, you're gonna break my fall.
Word to the wise, Quimby. Don't write checks, your butt can't guard.
Hear me loud and clear, Wiggum. You bite me, I'll bite back.
You talk the talk, Quimby, but do you walk the walk?
I hereby declare today to be Marge Simpson Day in the city of Springfield.
And I will say, it's only happened about 3 or 4 times, but I love these scenes with Quimby and Wiggum because it reminds me a lot of like on our course, like old 60s films of just like the law versus the mayor and that, and just the bickering in between and the dialogue. I love that from Wiggum and Quimby. It's just like the evil harassing the other evil.
I love their relationship because a lot of it just kind of shows how corrupt they are. I just like the corruption. Quimby's he's just in it for the votes and for the women vote and shit like that. If I'm honest, and I think I've said this before, he's my favourite
tertiary character, side character,
non-family.
Totally. But after all that fracas of the day, Marge's at home in bed with Homer, and she spots an advert for Rancho Relaxo on the TV. And I never really noted this, I just thought it was just standard exposition. Here's a place for Marge to go. But there's actually a little well-written joke in here. Like, you've got these grand shots of old Spanish villas and a pool and all the activities. But it's a 2-star resort, Cal. Did you pick that up?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, 2 stars. Springfield's only 2-star hotel. Again, painting the picture of Springfield just being your shit town. Homer's sort of alerted that Marge wants to go on a vacation by herself, but it's quite healthy. A lot of couples take solo vacations and that. So he does accept it, and they're ready to go. I think it's just for a weekend. It's not quite sure, because obviously, you know, some time passes, but I wasn't sure if it's for a week or just a weekend.
I think it's just like a weekend more than anything.
They're busy packing the kids off in the car, and, you know, I love the expression of fear on Bart and Lisa's face having to stay with their aunts. Homer forgets Maggie, brings her out, and to me, I'll say it now, my MVP for the episode, I'm going to have to go with Maggie, because with a lot of the scenes, it's not like they don't depict her as like in fear or out of control. She just wants to see Marge, she wants to see her mum, and she just won't stop till she gets it. She doesn't believe in, she's not scared or fearful of that. It's got one goal, and it's quite cute and funny.
One of Carl's classic fun facts that she totally doesn't get from IMDb is that David M. Stern noticed that most of the writers were pitching stories about Bart and Homer, and he thought a deeper vein of comedy could have been reached by having Marge suffer a nervous breakdown. James L. Brooks immediately approved the idea.
Yeah, James L. Brooks he was brought into The Simpsons because he did Terms of Endearment and all these big emotional weepies in the 70s and that, and I guess he could see the heart of this, and I'm glad they went with this. I'll save my criticisms a bit later on, but no, I enjoyed the emotional weight that we got with having it with Marge and Maggie rather than being at Homer-centric, as would happen on the late years, just pile it all on Homer. I like what they did here.
I like it more, especially more the earlier ones, where it kind of dives away from the initial, Homer's doing something stupid again, or Bart's just being a little bit of a shit again, and it's well developed. Not as much obviously now, but earlier on it was at its peak.
Maggie doesn't want to go. She grips completely onto the door, and the kids, you know, they just think, oh, I wish I thought of that. Now, I'll just delve into here, Cal. Was having a little human in your household.
Mm-hmm.
That have you had any sort of strifes or troubles like Homer went through on this episode?
Not so much. We've had a few where, like, when she first started, because I've got a niece, and when she first started, like, walking around and stuff like that, we've got this spinny chair, sat her on it, sort of spinning around, turned around for a second, and she'd fallen. So then, as I grabbed her, she was okay. But as I lifted her back up, she banged her head on the table. It wasn't me, I swear. And
Ooh.
stupid shit like that, but, like,
Oh no.
almost dropping her, and like, she banged. me and my dad was looking after her one time. This isn't recorded, is it? It's not going to get, like, child line on me or anything. No. No, it just simple kind of, like, she banged her head, and my dad kind of freaked out, and I was just like, just laughing at her to try and stop her from crying, and it worked. But, like, recently, for example, because she's getting to the age where she's starting to, like, understand and stuff like that. And I heard a story earlier where my mum was sleeping on the settee, or pretending to be asleep, but resting her eyes or whatever, and stuff. My niece was just playing with something. So my sister called her over, and look, now I'm sleeping. So she went up to her and just screamed in her face, and I was just like, "That's
Oh my God.
amazing." That's exactly.
Demon child.
Exactly. But she understood. We didn't think she was gonna. Well, sister didn't think she was gonna do anything, but it was just really funny. It was just like, bah! I was like, oh.
Now, Darius, did the mum give her an evil look, or
No, she
hit her, or just like reaction? Huh?
Okay, that was fucking Sparta kicked her away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she dropped
Important
it.
question is, Cal, did you catch her on the first bounce?
She's starting to give.
Homer, if Maggie really doesn't want to leave the house, maybe she should just stay with you.
Are you sure that's wise? I'll probably trade her for a beer and a nudie magazine.
For your information, I can take care of my. See? Got her in the first bounce.
This kicks off basically almost a Home Alone parody, like the title says. Again, I like a lot of the scenes with Homer trying to entertain Maggie here. A particular highlight of mine is trying to entertain her with the hand puppets here, and Santa's little helper going for his wrist, thinking one of them's real. What? Let go, and Maggie clapping. And I guarantee kids love babies love violence. They love the simplest form of slapstick in that. So is that true to life with your niece? Does she appreciate slapstick?
Definitely. She went through this phase. We've kind of got it out of her now, but she just slap people. But it was always if you're holding her, she just literally just slap you in the face. But we realised
open hand slap.
Yeah. She'd just literally just look at you and just slap you in the face with both hands as well. And we realised the reason why she was doing this is mainly because of my brother-in-law, who used to like puff his cheeks up and then she'd slap all the hair out his mouth kind of thing. But she was only doing it to, like, people with chubbier cheeks as well. So she was just like, oh look, fuck, yeah, let's do it.
I will apply this with all cheeks from now on.
You know it.
Howdy, this is just a reminder that if you're enjoying the content so far, loving our podcast, loving the episode, go to facebook.com and search for Uncle Mo's Family Feedbag, a British podcast, and give us a like there. We will update you on all of our exclusive content and posts as well. Also, if you're in the mood for a bit more Simpsons and more Simpsons podcasts, go over and check out the 411 folks on Facebook and SoundCloud as well. They do lots of great impressions, great analysis of the episodes, and it's generally a good time. And now back with your regularly scheduled listening. Homer, he can't do it all on his own, so he inquires a friend, inquires Barney, and I spoke about this with Sash in another good episode review, Duffless. The Homer-Barney dynamic, again, it's another, as the Simpsons do in these Golden Generation episodes, they get character dynamics spot on, and I really enjoyed Homer and Barney just as these lumbering buffoons.
It kind of really shows that type of character, like, as Homer, what type of friends he would have, and it is just kind of like his old school friends, his old drinking buddies.
But in between the kids being at Patty and Selma's and Marge fitting into Rancho Relaxo, and we'll get to her in a minute, but I only realised this, about a year ago? I watched this with young eyes just thinking, oh, Homer's tired himself out from having to deal with Maggie on his own, that he's singing to her lullabies in this odd fashion. But then I put two and two together like a year ago, and he's pissed. He's obviously had Bonnie round for a sesh, whilst, you know, it's boring, nothing else going on in the house. So, and that's him drunk. I never put two and two together with him singing drunk lullabies, but you can tell from how they designed his hair and he's slurring.
Do you think? I think it's just because he's knackered.
You think it's because he's tired?
Yeah, just from over, I don't know, just trying to entertain Maggie for so long, because it is knackering, because it's basically, you've just got this little ball of energy, which you've just got to stop from killing itself for 8 hours. And because they'll just literally say, oh look, that's a knife, okay, let's see what it does. Oh shit, yummy red jam, that looks electric, I'm gonna eat it.
Is this Cal's parental guidance in a nutshell?
But it basically is. It's the best thing I've ever heard about with children anyway. Is it's like getting a dog what slowly learns how to speak, which is from Scrubs. But then it is just literally just always on edge, just trying not to fucking have it kill itself, basically, because it's just like everything it says is like, oh look, that's sparkly, let me go fucking touch it. Oh, that looks hot. Oh, I wonder what it tastes like.
But Marge has joined Rancho Relaxo now, and she gets introduced to all the wonders of it by one Troy McClure.
Oh, hello, and welcome to Rancho Relaxo. I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such films as Today We Kill, Tomorrow We Die, and Gladys the Groovy Mule. But today you'll see me in my greatest role, your video tour guide to Rancho Relaxo. Our tour starts in your very own room, where Relaxo Vision offers you the latest Hollywood hits. And after midnight, the finest R-rated movies Europe has to offer. Ooh la la.
We've talked about him, you know, in passing with his final ever appearance in our Bart the Mother episode here, but we've already talked about Phil Hartman, but Troy McClure, the character, Cal, he's always a reliable one for The Simpsons.
See, if I'm honest, I prefer Lionel Hutz.
Oh, okay.
I'm more of a Lionel Hutz fan. However, A Fish Called Selma is one of my favourite episodes.
She realises she's got to make the most of her time here, so she starts doing it all: hula, hooping, kayaking. She ticks them off the list. There's plenty of activity for her. But back at the house, Maggie's not feeling it. She is missing her mum, so she goes off on a venture and tries to find her without the knowledge of Homer, and he finds Maggie's cot empty, and that's where we get our iconic imagery. Cal, can you just hazard a guess?
Iconic imagery?
It's a parody of the title of the episode.
Oh, yeah, the Home Alone scream.
There we go.
I'm still awake.
Homer's instantly panicking. He's looking over in the rumpus room, in the Hoover bag on the chimney with a bit of smog on his face. That's a nice little touch there. And this got me the first... Well, obviously, it's not going to get me episodes after. This got me the first time as like an 8-year-old, like, Barney sat on Maggie because you see the shade of the spikes. Whoa! Try sleeping on one of these. And it's a fucking odd crustacean thing? What is that thing, Cal?
It's a
conch?
Yeah, it's a conch. It's a conch. I'm trying to think from the sacred conch from SpongeBob. That made me laugh. It gave me a giggle, because it's just kind of, I like surreal things. It's like, you want a good night's sleep, don't sleep on a conch. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it raises more questions. It's fine. They're gonna find Maggie, and they're gonna have omelets, much like Donkey Shrek when he gets up there having waffle.
Maggie! Oh man, you want a bad night? Try sleeping on one of these. Barney, I've lost a baby. It's the worst thing I've ever done. Don't worry. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make you an omelet. Just help me look. Are you sure? I make them with 2 kinds of cheese. Come on. Wow. Hey, Homer, I think I've got her. Ah, come on. Barney, you're gonna pull her arm off. The sooner I get her out, the sooner we can have omelets.
Maggie's safe on her own. She tries to look through every sort of shop to find her mother again. You know, the hair salon and that, the Butterfat's ice cream place, where apparently Wiggum takes that as a suicide attempt, which again, it's funny, but it's a dark turn, especially when like a baby's involved in that. I didn't really think of that until
You've
just
got your
now.
whole
But
life ahead of
Maggie's
you,
fine. Yeah,
yeah.
but Homer's busy thinking of horrible excuses to tell Marge that Maggie's gone. He's really very topical. He's really McCanned this, hasn't he? Was a potential.
He's McCandy.
All right, so we're not overly running this podcast, but have you seen any of it? And if so, nutshell on the series, Cal.
The Netflix series, no, it's on my list, but a lot of people I've talked to is just like it doesn't need to be 8 episodes. Like, no, I saw one thing that was quite funny though, where it was just like it was a tweet just saying they've got to be reading about fan theories and stuff, and say, well, fuck, Kate, Helen from Doncaster's pretty close.
I'll just give my short review of it. Basically, everyone is incompetent apart from the dogs. Thankfully, Wiggum comes to the door. Your man reporting a missing baby. Yeah, she's small. She's a girl. Ringo! But Homer, he doesn't have to face any sort of responsibilities or crimes, just don't do it again, you big log. So Homer makes sure we're wrapping up the episode now, folks. I tell you what, this third act just zips by, Cal. I feel like it's only about 3 minutes long. He's gaffer taped her into the seat. He's gone to patting somewhere, thrown the kids in the car, and ready to get Marge from the station. Marge, again, a lovely little quick scene here of just her getting the family photo out, and then the little reveal of the dishevelled family not who they once were. And I do see a lot of memes and gifs. I think I've said before on here, I'm a big football fan, Premier League fan. I see a lot of that with teams like when they have a big, massive upset in form or a big defeat. Just like, oh, hi, did you miss me? And then they get one win. Never leave again. Never leave.
It doesn't not feel like they just didn't know how to end it. It feels like they did know, but there wasn't much of a conclusion needed, because it needs to be set back to the norm anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, and the ending is very much the family are going to promise all these things, but then you know it's going to reset. So it's just a means to an end, if you will. And that's how we end the episode. So, Cal, overall, what are your thoughts looking back at it again? And then eventually, how do you rate this episode?
It was an alright episode. I think it's not the worst. It's not definitely by far not the worst we've reviewed. Not the best either, really. It's the first episode with MacGyver. It's good because it really does show when, what happens when the centre stone of the family or whatever, like you think, oh, it's Homer who's like the breadwinner and stuff like that. No, fucking Marge is the boss. Marge is the G who holds them all together. Very fitting that this episode may be released around Mother's Day in the UK anyway.
I think, you know what, I'm sticking on the same save went through as you. I'm going to agree with you here. I liked parts of it. There's a load of sequences I do like, but I'll just say it like this. I wanted to see more of Marge at Rancho Relaxo. You just see her ticking stuff off and getting shown what to do with Rancho Relaxo. We don't actually see her doing stuff at Rancho Relaxo. I want to see her, like, awkwardly not doing something for the first time, then loving it, like cigar making or whatever, or maybe she could see someone like, I don't know, Krusty or that, and they share a hula hoop and something funny happens. I wanted more of that. It's like getting a nice main meal, you get like lasagna and a salad, that's fine, but where's the garlic bread? Where's that little thing to pick it up? I wanted that from I wanted more of Marge. I wanted more from the B story here. But overall, let's go for some ratings. I'll start with you, Cal. How are you going to rate this particular episode?
Like I said, it's good. It's good animation. It's a very sturdy episode kind of thing. It holds up. It's funny still. It did make me laugh a few times. Mainly with like the Quimby scene more than anything. I'll give it a strong 8 missing children out of 10. No, I'm not going that high. 6 R. Kelly rage outs out of 10. 6.5, yeah. That's not dating this episode at all.
No. You know what it's like, man. They're trying to take the kids. How I'd rate it myself, I think it's just, I wanted more homage, I wanted more of the B story. There's still some good points, but I'd say it's just, I'd say it's fine overall. So with that, I'm going to go 2.5 9 a.m. feedings. And this is where we look forward to the next episode of the podcast. I'm going to pull that lever from our random episode generator and see what spits out. Okay, and we're jumping to season 10 with Wild Barts Can't Be Broken. I'll just say the key word for you, Cal. We know all your secrets.
It's a good Chief Wiggum episode, that as well.
Oh, you're going to be in your element, yes.
I am.
We'll be able to delve more into that and other topics when we see you for the next Uncle Mo's Family Feedback episode. But if you can, please like and subscribe to our Facebook page. I've been adding more and more all of our back catalogue of episodes to my YouTube channel, so please go on there. The links will be in the Facebook page and our SoundCloud as well. That is Uncle Mo's Family Feedback Podcast again, and we will see you then. Until next time, take care.
Bye.
Come to Uncle Mo's for family fun. It's good, 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 good.
Sounds good.